Welcome into an all-new episode of Panthers on Tap. I'm Curtis Rauen, joined by Bryson, Karbley, Ricky Raines, coming to you guys on a Wednesday evening, and a massive upset win over the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Great to be with you all. I also have a pretty big announcement you guys saw on our Twitter page already, but we are officially a part of the Believe Podcast Network, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. So we're very excited for that opportunity. And we'll dive into that as we go on here. And I think this will open up more opportunities to bring you guys great content and open up the space for us to connect with some folks and get some really good guests on this show. So we're really pumped for that. I know that's a mouthful, but it's a big night for Carolina Panthers. It's a big night for us. And I appreciate every single one of you guys tapping in and tuning in tonight. Bryson, Ricky, good to see you guys as always.
Yeah, man, it's exciting times for our team and for our podcast. It's we're grateful for the opportunity. Nothing changes in regards to our content, but yeah, I'm excited for the opportunity to produce more content and share it more amongst the fan base, and then also to talk about that upset win tonight, or not tonight, but this past Sunday. I don't know if I've felt as good as I did on Sunday for a very long time regarding this team. So I'm excited to talk about that. The chat is blowing Ricky up right now. So Ricky, you go ahead and
you know why? This is the moment we've all been waiting for. First, good to see you guys. Before I hit that button, good to see you guys. Everyone is waiting for a particular moment, and I'm not the kind to wait. Like Christmas time comes around, and I'm giving out gifts on like the 13th of December. Like, I'm excited as shit. I'm too amped up. And with that said, let's hit that video. That's it. That's what we've been waiting on, and we got it. Look at this. Another challenger has entered the arena. I don't know what that is. Is that a rotten cheese? Is that a rotten cheese head?
It looks like he's about to tell me that the British are coming.
This is a cheese head that I painted Panthers colors, but it looks more green than anything.
It's a rotten cheese head because we spoiled those cheese eaters Sunday.
Exactly.
I absolutely love it. Hold on, let's get it official here. Carolina Panthers win. I tell you what. That's right
baby.
There, my friends. That's the good stuff. That is the good stuff. Appreciate everyone being here. Appreciate everyone waiting for this moment. I can tell you what, Bryson, Curtis, I didn't think I was going to wear this hat this week. Like, I'm going to be the first to go ahead, and I'm going to start off the show by saying I picked us to get drugged by the Green Bay Packers this week. I thought that this was a matchup that the Packers would be up for because I thought they would take it serious. And you know what, though, man? I think they did take it serious. I just think that the Carolina Panthers took themselves more serious. And I could not be more pumped up about this team right now and about that win. Let's get into this shit. Let's do this.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped. I didn't
Dude,
give
I
you
cannot
guys
take
any
you
warning
serious.
at
Oh my
all. At all.
It looks like a SpongeBob character or something. I don't even know what's happening.
Hey, man, let's get to what we're drinking. We'll get to the chat and then we'll jump into this thing. Ricky, start us off here. Oh, of course.
I will. I'll start us off with our lovely graphic that we have for this segment of the show. Believe Network listeners, you're really going to enjoy this. This is our cocktail menu here from our good listener, Carl Hungus, also known as Clay Wright. He says, I'm sure it will be better than whatever Curtis is drinking. That's our sponsor for this segment. Boys, I went all the way back to it, to the first win. I've got my champagne to Marjorie. I got the bottle here. I'm drinking champagne. I can't guarantee how much of it I'm going to drink because I absolutely hate that headache on a Thursday. But if I get tired of it, or if I'm just a complete lush and I'm having a great time and enjoying myself and I down that whole thing, I do have a couple of cans of Choice Pilsner, which you can see here. It's got the black cat eating the fish, and it says the path is yours. And I think that that's very fitting for this Carolina Panthers team because I honestly believe that the path is ours for the rest of this season. I think we determine our destiny, and I believe that we can get, to where we want to be this year.
Bryson, what do you got?
Boring stuff over here, man. I wish I could drink. I'm so upset that I couldn't celebrate with alcohol after that win or during this show. But I am drinking a non-alcoholic Unfiltered Art is the brand, Italian style pills. It is not very good. Cheers, Ricky. And I'm just so sad. I can't drink beer right now. Hopefully I can in the near future, but
don't be sad, man. You're right here with us, dude. We're still excited to have you here, man. Drink it or not drink it, it don't matter. Yeah, I'll switch over to Welch's grape juice if it makes you feel better, man. I'm just here for the camaraderie.
No, I'm not bringing anybody else down to this level, man. You guys drink.
I'm channeling my inner Ricky today. I went to Total Wine & More tonight to get some. So I'm going Christmas here. So this is a White Christmas Winter Warmer. It's from a brewery up in Rhode Island.
Yep, I've had it.
Narragansett.
Narragansett, man. That's the high neighbor. It's the terrible beer that you see everywhere. It's $2. It's like a fibber. It's wonderful. It's a trash beer.
This is really good. Like
the winter warmer's nice.
Yeah. It's great. And then I got
that's Bing Crosby on the can. You didn't even talk about Bing Crosby on the can.
Exactly. That's a great movie, by the way. White Christmas. Got to see it. Also, I have is it a Hoppy Holiday? It's an IPA from Noda.
Yeah. It tastes like a Christmas tree. Have you tried that thing yet?
I haven't tried it yet. No.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you the honest to God truth, man. It tastes just like a Christmas tree. That thing is the piniest damn IPA you'll ever drink in your life.
Looking forward to it. Way to sell it, Ricky. Way to sell it.
It's cool, man. No, it's wild. Like, it's worth at least drinking one at a time because you're just like, shit, I feel like I'm, going steady with a Christmas tree.
All right, let's get to our chat here. We got a super chat already. Carter says, I'm from Cali, but I've been a Panthers fan since 2015. Been given shit since. I nearly cried over the game this past weekend, but unapologetically keep motherfucking pounding.
Keep pounding, Carter. Appreciate
Cheers,
you, man.
Carter.
In here early.
Man. Shout out to Carter.
Appreciate it, Carter. I will join the tap room if the Panthers make the playoffs. That's the deal. Hey, man, join before. There's nothing holding you back.
Cool stuff if you wait that long.
I wouldn't wait on that one. Panthers vote, Carter the man. Appreciate you. Congrats on getting on the new network, boys, and congrats on the PFSN gig, Ricky.
Appreciate you, Johnny.
We'll be talking about that gig tonight. Ricky has written several articles already, and he has one that was out, I believe, that dropped today on Nick Scott, and we'll be talking about that later on in the episode. Cowboy Ricky, everyone's here for it. I tell you what. Dylan here as well with the cowboy emojis. Appreciate you. Boom and Wallace chemistry is certain. Yes, we will talk about that. Dylan, I want to shout him out. He is one of our members. It's $3.99. It's a month.
What a great comment. I love that comment. Football is fun again, because that's what this feels like, man. Like, that wasn't a pretty game. It wasn't any kind of like, oh wow, we just threw for 400 yards and we got 30 sacks and all this kinds of glitz and glamour. That was a dog fight of a football game, Carolina Panthers style, baby, and it felt great to watch it.
Amen to that. Panthers dog W video time. Appreciate.
I set the over under on 3.5, boys. I don't know if y'all saw that. Do you think that we go over that tonight?
Probably.
I hope so.
Well, he's got the hat. These must have been coming in. Oh, salesman with the comment of the day, joining late, busy searching from YouTube TV. Hey man, I'm almost there. I'm getting tired of this. Haven't been able to. I didn't get to watch college football this past week, and Monday Night Football had to miss. A bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to get into all that, but yeah, it's just I'm tired of it already. Miss Rains, proud of you guys. Keep pounding. Appreciate
What's up,
you.
Mom?
Made for more. Low, congrats, fellas. Well deserved. Appreciate you as always.
Thank you, love.
Victory talk on my birthday. Let's go, Chris Dillard. Appreciate
Hey, happy birthday, Chris.
Happy birthday, man. One of my coworkers' birthdays today as well, our chief meteorologist. So shout out Lainey. Give her a little love there as well. Hat bet better be on. Oh, there you go. See,
you know it, Zach. Come on, man.
People holding you accountable, man.
You know my business, man. I don't play about the cowboy hat on Victory Wednesdays.
I tell you what, the famous slug line for Ricky. A bunch of laughing emojis. Game over. Amen to that. Love the Panthers cheese. Curtis, happy to see us.
You gotta hold on. You gotta get down to that Panther Bowen down there. He's got a great one. It says, "Can someone censor Curtis' forehead?"
I see how you guys are nuts, man.
Little Faith Johnny. Nice pun there. I like that one, man. This is terrific. Look at what a Panthers win does to the community. It makes everyone alive.
Rising tides lifts all boats, man. Let's go.
Oh, what's going on? Congrats on the network. I can't take Curtis seriously.
Neither can we.
What's up, guys? Hey man, we appreciate y'all, but let's get into the discussion here. We've spent long enough on this. So yeah, they kicked ass, man. I'll echo what Bryson said off the top. I have not felt that good in a very long time. This one obviously is a little bit more, means more to me because I'm from Wisconsin and at one point was a Packers fan. But man, was this good. This was every bit of it. I remember I went on the Spaces right after. I was screaming. I was going nuts. Bryson, this kind of reminded me of a couple years ago when the Panthers, I think it was the PJ Walker play in Atlanta. Obviously, they lost that game, but like that excitement level of that moment when they hit that touchdown was pretty damn close to that. But one big takeaway, Bryson, let's start with you. One big takeaway from this game, something that popped off or just something you wanted to talk about in this game.
Yeah. Before I talk about the takeaway or my takeaway, I just wanted to say, Carolina went to a 5-1-1 team, the best record in the NFC, if I'm not mistaken, and as a 2-touchdown underdog away to a very hostile environment where there was very little blue. I think they talked about that coming out of the tunnel. They're like, it's just us guys. Like, there's no blue in the stands, and they were undoubtedly the better team on the field this past Sunday. They controlled the game. They contained Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs for the most part on offense. So man, shout out to that team, dude. Like, I know Curtis was the only one that picked them to win just because he couldn't not pick them because it was the Packers, and I'm very happy he was right and we were wrong, Ricky. Because I agree. Like we both said, Curtis, one of the best feelings in a long time as a Panthers fan. It's one of the biggest wins I can remember. It's been that long almost. But for my takeaway, I just want to highlight Trayvon Merrick, man. What a game! I think he won NFC Defensive Player of the Week. That interception, Jordan Love just threw a complete hamburger, and it was there for the taking. And it was literally triple coverage. I'm not sure what he saw on that play. or maybe that's just the type of quarterback he is. He's giving his guy a chance no matter what. But
he saw Nick Scorton running full speed at him from across the field.
He's like, nah, fuck that. I'm throwing this thing.
Yeah.
So Merrick, just, a difference maker, dude. One of the best free agent signings I can remember in a long time for this team. Dan Morgan hit a home run with that signing, and I'm so happy that he's here for a couple of years and hopefully longer. Merrick has changed the tone on that defense. I mean, coming off of last season, being the worst in the NFL and now being like a middle of the pack is like incomprehensible for me. Because, to begin the year, we were talking about, man, if they could get to like 25, the 25th best defense or the 27th best defense in the NFL, we'll have a chance to win games. And here they are, halfway through the season, and they're a average to above average defense. So Trayvon Merrick, man, shout out to him. So happy he's a Panther. He is a tone setter and a leader on that defense.
Yeah. Baller. Well, I'll just leave it at that. Well said, Bryson. Difference maker for us. I thought that JC Horn, give him a shout out, because I don't know if it's just a matter of the approach from Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love, where they said, we're just not even going to throw it at JC. Or if he did try to look that way, and JC was just doing his job at such a high level that they couldn't afford to throw a football over on that side. I think he had 2 targets all game. Just a lockdown defender, man. So shout out JC Horn. The defensive front, Derek Brown. Shout out Brian Baldinger, because, man, every single week, you turn on that film, and Derek Brown is out there moving cats around like it is his day job. Like he's 2 men in a truck and he's picking up furniture all day. That's all he's doing out there, man. He is just relocating families. And I swear to you, man, like if this dude is not in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year at the end of the year because he doesn't have the counting stats, it'll tell you everything you need to know, right? Like it's a glitz and glamour for the NFL. It's the gaudy numbers, but Derek Brown's impact is crazy. The amount of times that you see him flying through space on screenplays or on short passes, and he ends up making a tackle 5-6 yards down the field, and he's doing like the full-blown Superman, fully extended, flying through the air at 330 pounds, 6'5". It is terrifying. And I'm a Panthers fan, and I am scared of him. Like, it is absolutely remarkable. It's one of the best feelings in the world to see Derek Brown out there doing his thing. I love it. I'm so happy he's back and healthy. From the offensive side of things, shout out Rico Dowdle. Shout out the offensive line, Jake Curhan, Damian Lewis. Man, shout out Damian Lewis. Shout out Ike Ekwonu, shutting down Micah Parsons. Hell yeah. Bryce Young, when it mattered, it mattered. And that's the thing that we love about this quarterback. When it matters, it matters. There are other things that we'll get into detail-wise, but I just want to shout out the trenches. That's my takeaway. Offensive line, defensive front, ballers.
Yeah, Ricky went through the whole list.
I got too excited,
it was
man.
like, boom, boom, boom.
I tried last time not to do that, and then this time I got so excited. I'm like, I can't contain myself, Curtis. I've got this hat on. I'm just going to ramble. This is what a Cowboy does.
Curtis, we talked about the 2 levels of a defense, but we left one out. That one we left out had a pretty good game too. So I'll mention them.
Hell yeah.
Well, I wanted to shout out the offensive line, because Carolina has gone through 7 combinations this season and brought back a lot of the same guys from last year, and they have not missed a beat, man. I mean, they have just kept in there. You're getting 200-yard rushers a game, large part to Rico, but that offensive line has been turnstile all season long, unlike last year where there was some steadiness there. And they've shown up. And Curran, I think Ricky might have mentioned his name. That guy came in this past game, started off on the left side because Damian Lewis is out, then goes to the right. Like he played really well against a very stout D line. And we were talking glowingly about the Packers defense this past week in the front 7, and Carolina held their own with several backups in there. So just shout out to them. They deserve a ton of credit. Ike Ekwonu, he earned his next contract, no doubt about it. You hold Micah Parsons, arguably the best pass rusher in the NFL, to 0 pressures, and you got him talking about a boring football game after you done did your job there,
Hell
sir.
Yeah.
So shout out to Icky. And then on the flip side on defense, Roseboom played well. I don't want to touch on all the guys you guys already did. Merrick was outstanding. I got to give Ricky a shout out. Ricky is one of the first, at least for me, who name dropped this guy last year in free agency when Carolina was, looking, and we all knew safety was a spot they needed to go after. So shout out Ricky, because this guy has been a stud and is the best free agent signing so far for Carolina. So happy he's a Panther. Happy he's a Panther for several years, and he is showing out, and he deserves the Defensive Player of the Week this week in the NFC. So shout out to him. I do want to touch on, Ricky talked about it, Bryce Young a little bit here, because everyone wants to talk about the stat sheet. He obviously, it didn't show up. He had 101 or 102 yards passing on the day, no passing touchdowns. Statistically, not a great day overall. However, the wins are what matter. That's what we all care about. That's what we want to see this team do, is win. I just want to get your guys' overall thoughts, because there's still a fraction of this fan base, and I think there always will be a fraction of this fan base that does not want to see number 9 as the QB for this team. I think that's pretty damn clear at this point. But what did you guys think of his overall performance while the stats weren't there? And Bryson, we'll start with you on that. What did you think of Bryce Young on a very windy and a hostile environment at Lambeau Field where it's 95% Packer fans?
Yeah, one more shout out I want to do before I get to Bryce Young, and that's the man that won the game in Ryan Fitzgerald.
Yes, sir.
Another game-winning kick. We talk about Bryce being clutch, but Ryan Fitzgerald's been pretty clutch as well. He misses the PAT. After that Rico Dowdle penalty, apparently you don't get 2 pumps. That's news to me. Key and Pill taught us anything, it was that. And unfortunately, it's not right. So, he misses that PAT. And then to get into the Bryce conversation, Bryce Young on the final drive of the game comes up clutch. He makes plays when he has to. He finds Jalen Coker for a first down after scrambling. He hits Tedero McMillan for another first down. He bamboozles the defense into thinking that it's a pass, calls a run, and Rico runs the ball and sets up the game-winning field goal. I mean, Bryson, that final drive just was nails, man. And I feel like we talk about it every week with him, but this is just a reoccurring theme. If the ball is in his hands and he has a chance to win the game, I am so comfortable with just sitting back and watching it happen, because I truly believe it's going to happen every single time. So I think while the numbers weren't there, I could not give a fuck less. We won the game, and I know that is what Bryce Young feels as well, and that's what Dave Canales, that's what this team feels. Bryce Young could throw for 20 yards and 2 interceptions, but if we won the game, then who cares? We're the Carolina Panthers. We have a history of not winning games. So if your quarterback can go out and throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns and lose a game, I would much rather have the win every single time. So I don't care about the stats, the box score watchers. Bryce wasn't bad. That interception was floated. The wind blew it. It was picked off. They didn't pass the ball much. They focused on the run, which is what all of us on this podcast want them to do. Rico had 25 totes. They managed the game. They kept Jordan Love off the field as much as they could, and just controlled the clock. And that's how they won the game. They had a clear plan going in, and it wasn't for Bryce Young to throw 40 passes. It was for Rico to get the totes and be successful, which he was, against a stout run defense that we thought that this team was going to struggle against. But Rico is just so fucking good, dude. He is a patient runner. He is smart with his cuts and seeing the field and seeing the holes. It's just he's man, so good. So yeah, while Bryce's box score didn't look great, right? We won the game, and that's all I care about. And I know that that's how this team feels. So no, I don't care that he threw for 100 yards. At the end of the day, we're on this podcast. We're playing the WVID, and you guys got 2 awesome hats on. So I'm fine with that.
Ricky, talk about that play fake, though, that the 2nd and 10 at the game-winning drive, because that was massive.
I mean, what a cerebral attack, right? I mean, honestly, knowing that the defense is going to key in on tendencies and looks that they have seen before, right? They are watching the quarterback to gain an advantage. I mean, that's the entire pre-snap operation. That is what's happening. And Bryce, knowing that, set them up. I mean, he loaded the mousetrap with the cheese, right? And he dared the little rats to come after it. And they did. Masterful execution there, masterful idea. I think that when I look at the Bryce Young game, I look at it and I say, if there were 2 touchdowns in the throwing column as opposed to 2 rushing touchdowns for Rico Dowdle, would that change anybody's perception on if Rico had a good game? Like, Rico still did what he was asked to do. Now, I get it. He put up 135, 125, whatever yards it was. But, like, without the touchdowns, and Bryce gets the touchdowns, but he still only has, let's give him 122 yards on the 2 touchdown attempts, right? Pass attempts in the end zone. Is Bryce having a terrible day if he throws for 122, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick? The 1 pick that got caught in the wind? Because the 2 passes that he threw in the end zone, fellas, hit their receiver in the hands or the face. And Xavier Legette drew the penalty in the back of the end zone. So that's what created another opportunity for the Rico Dowdle touchdown, right? But if he's not held, Xavier Legette, all he has to do is catch that ball. Tetairoa McMillan should have caught that ball, man. You can say whatever you want to about that being a duck and the rotation on that pass not being crisp and not being tight. Sure, I guess. But I watched Peyton Manning play quarterback for the last 5 years of his career throwing the original Nintendo Entertainment System duck hunt football. Like, you should have had your gun, your little orange pistol, up on the screen, shoot those things out of the damn air, and we lost the Super Bowl to that guy. So don't tell me that people can't catch balls that aren't tight spirals. Does it make it easy? Sure. But Tetairoa McMillan is a top 8 pick. And this thing that he has done where he changes his approach from overhand, correct, attacking the ball, to underhand at the last minute, it is something that he has done, and it's got to be broken. Like, it's got to be explained to him. And I know some people have wondered, was he trying to cradle it because of that rotation? Was he trying to soften the catch? Just go get it, man. You got those big hands. You got the big, strong hands. Get it. I see the comment here, Mike Jackson should have got the ball too. Yeah, like, that's the thing, though. When we're talking about the difference between a corner and a wide receiver, that wide receiver is supposed to catch passes for his job, right? So, like, I need him to do that, and I need that to take a little bit of pressure off of Bryce Young having to be perfect. That being said, Bryce Young could do a better job still in the execution of the on-schedule stuff. I think that what I'm coming away most impressed by, though, with Bryce Young and what I can take each week in and out is that he's making the correct reads. Even the interception that he threw to Xavier Legette, you heard Dave Canales talk about it, but if you watch the play, you see it too. Xavier Legette has the leverage. He's got the one-on-one. That's the right read to go there. And it's the same look that he had when he threw that absolute dart of a dime in the back of the end zone that just absolutely fell into his hands right past the defender. That's what he wanted to do again, but he put more under it, right? He was trying to get him to run underneath it. And that wind in that end zone, we saw it. We even saw it with Jordan Love. And Jordan Love has a much bigger, stronger arm, right? That wind in that end zone specifically was absolutely crazy, man, in that game. It took a lot of passes. And I'm okay with it, man. I'm okay with him wanting to take that shot and it not working out. I wish you protect the ball a little bit better in there, but that wasn't the thing that he thought was going to happen with that ball. People will bring up Jalen Coker coming underneath on that play. Coker was going to be open. I don't know that Bryce had the time to get to him. If you watch that play again, there was pressure bearing down on him. And I don't know that Coker had gotten all the way behind and through his defender. I think that he was still covered. And I think that that's a dangerous throw as well, because you still have to put loft underneath that for him to catch up to it. And throwing in that same direction, I still think that it's an iffy thing. He threw the pick. I hope it doesn't happen. We've got to get better at that. We have to protect the ball. But for me, all in all, man, when it matters, and Bryce Young executes in that moment. I always feel okay when Nine has the ball in his hands with a chance to win the game.
Me too. Like, he is, and we had this conversation weeks ago, and I'm going to keep bringing this damn thing up, is he is becoming one of the most clutch QBs Panthers ever had. And I know Cam has been out there. I know Jake Delhomme and all that. And I know there's bigger games to be had when it matters in the playoffs and stuff. But when it's game on the line, game-winning drives, more often than not, he marches down there and puts it in the end zone. It kind of reminds me of Eli Manning-esque, where Eli Manning had all those game-winning drives in his career. That Bryce Young is proving when he has the ball and it matters and it's 2 minutes and it's got to have it, more often than not, he's putting up a score to at least take the lead. I do want to talk quickly, and then I want to shout out our new member here. But the Leggett throw, I just want to ask you guys what you thought. I almost thought Bryce Young was throwing to a spot there, and he was expecting Leggett to come inside on that play. That was my perspective, Ricky. I'm sure you've watched it over and over. But it just seemed like an errant throw. Like, I don't even think the wind affected it much. I literally think Bryce Young was just throwing to a spot and expecting Leggett to be at that spot, and he wasn't. Because it just seemed like it was decently off. Like, it wasn't like he had a step it was like a step away. It was a pretty bad throw.
I thought that the trajectory changed on that ball. I think that when you look at where he released it and where that was pointing and going to, and then you even watch the rotation on the ball, that's what I was talking about. And Bryson alluded to it as well. Had more loft under that than the game where he completed that same look to Xavier Leggett for the touchdown. That was a little bit more of a straight line trajectory, right? There was a little bit more velocity to it. This one had a little bit of underneath, and the air got there. And you can see it, man. I mean, it literally turns the ball. Like, the ball literally floats up like this and just drops. And I don't think if he was throwing it to a spot, man, he wildly misjudged the play by Xavier McKinney, which would be a disappointing thing to not understand that Xavier McKinney is one of the best center field safeties in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, that's a very dangerous proposition to test him in that kind of way. But we won't know. I mean, the only person that can really confirm that is Bryce Young. Dave Canales came out and said it was, the wind, obviously.
Oh, did he? That. I missed that. I was wondering if anyone asked.
Okay. Yeah. He said it in the presser. He's like, that interception, we've got to protect the ball. He's like, but that wind was wicked. He was like, it absolutely impacted that play. It picked it up and just died. Like, it just killed it. So, I mean, and Bryce won't make an excuse. You know what I mean? That's the tough part about 9 too. You ask him and he's gonna be like, yeah, I got to do better. Like we prepare all week. Coach tells us, like, go out there, do your job, 1 of 11. He'll give you all the right answers, man. He'll say he's super grateful for the opportunity to play with his teammates, and he's super grateful for their friendship and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, man, it's a play that you don't want to see. You want to mitigate risk, and I think that win really was the bigger factor in that play for me. But
I want to quickly shout out Taylor Harrison here, our newest member. Appreciate you. Well, cheers,
Taylor.
Hopefully you're still in here.
The tap room.
It's been a while. But thank you again.
We were talking before the show. We won't give too much detail about it, but Bryson is working on something for that tap room, getting some things set up. You guys will be the first to get dibs on it, and as soon as we get that rocking, we'll let you know about it. And you know what we might do, guys, because we got a couple giveaway things that we're going to have to get into tonight too that we made promises on last week. Tap room might get themselves a little extra entry into those giveaways. If you're a member of the tap room, you might just get yourself an extra entry, right? Without even having to put in. That might be a good way to do that too. Incentivize that tap room.
Absolutely.
Bryson, you talked about it, but we got to have a full-on conversation about this, guys. And that's the Rico Dowdle celebration, because that has taken the league by storm. So what were your guys' thoughts when it happened? I'll just quickly go. I was not a fan of it because I know how the Panthers are with celebrations. We saw the DJ Moore a couple years ago rips his helmet off, gets a flag. Carolina is just, refs love to throw flags on the Panthers. And then Rico Dowdle, the minute when he got up there with the group and had his hands on his head, I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Here's a penalty. I thought it was funny later on because they won the game, but if they would have had lost and that would have had any implication in the game, I would have been pretty upset. But it was funny as hell after the fact because they won. But your guys' thoughts? Should he have not gotten flagged? What's your thoughts on the rules here?
Yeah, the no fun league. The man gave 2 pumps. Come on, like I've seen like much more like active celebrations across the league this season than just getting in a circle and bending your hips twice. Like I I didn't agree with the penalty, but I guess I understand. I don't know. I didn't think it was too egregious. I would hope that the NFL wouldn't throw a flag on that, but apparently, it is something that is against the rules. So I'm sure Rico understands that now, and he's not going to let it happen again. But yeah, I mean, to say I wasn't upset at the moment, I was like, oh fuck, I just felt in my soul that we were going to miss the PAT just because of the situation, and we did. And at that point in time, it was a very important kick. So if we would have lost by a point, yeah, this might be a different conversation, but we didn't, and it ended up not mattering. And Rico came back and set up the game-winning field goal, so he made up for it. So yeah, I mean, I think let's rail in the celebrations. Let's do things that are within the rule book and move on. But I'm fine with celebrating, just making sure that you don't get the flag.
Yeah, I brought up sharing my screen to show Rico Dowdle. Went on Twitter after finding out that he was going to be fined, and he was like, they got me. I'm going to start a GoFundMe, just kind of joking around. Well, he actually did go and start a GoFundMe. He says, I've partnered with GoFundMe to put money for fines towards a greater cause. Click the link to learn more. When you click the link, it takes you here. It says, support my fines or Children's Home Society of North Carolina. I'll read the short excerpt that he's got written here. You can see there that he made his $1,000 donation to this, as well as having to pay his fine. But Rico writes, after much thought, I've launched a GoFundMe for my fines. Key said I got 3 pumps, but I guess the NFL disagrees. Actually, 100% of what is raised through this fundraiser will be sent to 56 Children's Home Society of North Carolina. Children's Home Society promotes the right of every child to a permanent, safe, and loving family. They specialize in education and prevention programs, family preservation, and adoption and foster care. Let's raise some money. Absolutely awesome. I think that that's one of the best things that you could do. I'm going to go ahead and while we're sitting here, I'm going to go ahead and do my thing here. Actually, I probably won't do that because I can't show financial information.
Yeah, don't.
I will go ahead and I'll stop sharing this screen, and then I will come back to it to show that we've made our contribution to it. But I think it's such an awesome idea for Rico and one thing that he's doing there too is he's kind of poking fun a little bit at that whole no fun league thing. He's like, look, you want to fine me, you want to take my money, I could have put my money somewhere better instead of giving it to you because I went ahead and did 2 pumps, right? Yeah. Now, Dave Canales said, look, we got to be smarter about that in that situation. Sure, maybe you do, right? And I agree that you don't want to hurt the team. It ended up costing. They missed the extra point on that kick. It became almost like a 48-yard kick for that extra point with the penalty. Dave said that, he thought about considering going for 2 in that situation because of the difficult situation with the wind in that end zone. It's that same end zone. And he's like, knowing what we had seen, I didn't feel good about it. And he was correct on his assessment. It wasn't a good opportunity. You hate to see that. It would have been a real bummer if we had ended up losing this awesome, valiant effort by 1 point because of the pumps. But also, man, come on, dude. He did 2 hip thrusts. He wasn't out there acting like he was cranking one out. He was just dancing, dude. My kid does that. My kid thrusts his hips. He acts like Spider-Man crawling up a wall. When your kid was a toddler, he walks around the house and humps everything. He's not doing it because he's trying to bang it. He's doing it because it's fun, man. You get your hips all oily and loose, and you cut some wood, cut the rug, whatever you got to do. I don't know, man. Give this guy a break. Let's have a little bit of fun. Curtis, do you want to go and say your thing now, or do we want to have some fun for 37 seconds first?
Go ahead. Ricky had talked about it, and I wanted to briefly mention it. Actually, quickly back to the Rico Dowdle fundraiser. He initially set that goal to 5,000, And I actually had this tab up. Ricky was reading my mind. I had the tab up before the show, and it was set at 5,000. It's already surpassed that, so he extended it to 11,000 as the goal, and it's already over 7,000. So that's awesome. Again, if you guys can donate to that, it would be great. Wonderful society and what they do. So I just want to shout them out quickly. But I want to go back to the decision Ricky was talking about quickly. And that was the first decision of the game. So we need to talk about the coin toss because that was a pretty big deal. And it ended up coming back in Panthers' favor. And it did exactly what they wanted it to do in the end. So I think that deserves to be highlighted. And that was a coaching staff decision, mostly on Tracy Smith to alert Dave Canales to that. But the Panthers, I don't know about you two, and just real quickly, when they received, I'm like, all right, like, okay, we want to go out there and score, like go up right away. We're on the road. And then Greg Olsen started to explain a little bit, and it made a whole way more much sense to the decision of what they had. And I wonder if Greg Olsen got tipped about that, because that was really he literally like spelled it out to a T of what they wanted to do. But yeah, they received the ball, but that also gave them the direction they could choose in the fourth quarter, and they obviously chose to go with the win in the fourth. If it came down to a field goal, it obviously did, and they won the game off of it. So Tracy Smith, man, shout out to you, because he was the one that cued Canales in before the game, and it played out beautifully for them. Your guys' thoughts on that, Ricky?
First, I want to make good on what I said I would do. Let me share the screen. Mine is in, boys. Keep Rico safe. If we got to pay a couple dollars for an extra pump, I'll do it. That's fine. Okay, so asking about Tracy Smith, is that what you're talking about? Oh, with the decision to receive and get the field advantage at the end of the game for potential. What? Okay, so first, what foresight to think of that situation, and then what belief in your football team to think that you're going to be in that situation, that you need that, right? I absolutely love it. I think that speaks volumes to the way that this team views themselves. I think it speaks volumes to their level of preparation. We have given this team a hard time about preparation coming into certain games, specifically early in the season, right? When they had the preseason opportunities and they didn't take full advantage of them, in our opinion, at least. I thought the preparation was one of the weak spots of this coaching staff. I have not felt that way the last handful of weeks. I think that this team has, and another thing that we've all asked about, can they just form an identity and live with it and play through it? I think that's what they're doing. And I think that this emphasis on the special teams, the emphasis on the discipline on defense, the emphasis on the little things, that is their identity. They know the margin of error for this team is thin, and they know that they need any advantage that they can create. And so that's what they're doing. They're crossing their T's, they're dotting their I's, and they're preparing themselves for anything. That is how you win. We're basically the Boy Scouts of the NFL. Like, we just stay prepared, right? We can start a fire. We're like MacGyver, but with a big silver bucket on the top of his head. We can start fires with anything. We can fashion a 6-shooter pistol with the grass of Lambeau Field if we need to, right? Like, this is just what Carolina is proving to be able to do, and I'm such a big fan of it. I think it's a really smart thing from Tracy Smith. He deserves his kudos, especially after getting railed for the special teams debacle of New England in Week 4.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add. It's just, a fantastic coaching foresight decision. I agree with Ricky, man. The belief that they have in their own squad to receive the ball first and, take that chance of not getting the ball after half. Like, you risk that Green Bay scoring before half and then getting the ball right back, like putting yourself in that situation potentially. But, they had belief, they had the foresight, and, I tweeted it during the game. It was like something I'm not used to from a Carolina Panthers coaching staff of being this smart, just plain and simple. So yeah, Tracy Smith, he's had his ups and downs as that special teams coordinator, but it's been a lot of up lately, and I'm happy about that.
Ricky, let's talk about your guy for a minute here. Nick
Okay.
Scorton had an outstanding game. against the Green Bay Packers. Talk about his play a little bit here, kind of highlight what you kind of broke down in your article today, PFSN.
Yeah, so Nick Scorton has taken on an expanded role on this defense. And part of the reason why he's done it is out of necessity because of injury to Pat Jones, right? And that can't be overlooked. It's a shame because Pat was really starting to kind of come into his own here in Carolina and was making a significant impact. But, when Pat went down, and I included this in the article today, there was the locker room talk segment that they do on Panthers.com. And if you go to Nick's interview at that time, he's asked, and they're like, so what do you do to fill that void? Like, how do you guys do it? And he said, hey, look, if you're behind him, right? Me, Princely, T.I., Thomas Incoom, you got to step up, man. It's time to step our game up. Like, that is the personality of Nick Scorton, first of all. First and foremost. That is who he has been in high school. He played inside linebacker. He never played defensive end or edge until the All-Pro Bowl in high school. That was the first time. And he ended up going to Purdue, and he didn't get the offer extended to Texas A&M, which is where he wanted to go. He's from Texas, from Timpson, Texas. And he takes everything personal. He said it himself. You can see that on the field, right? In the locker room, when you see him talking, he's like everyone's best friend. He's the guy that knows everyone at the party, right? The conversation almost flows through him. I think that, and I can't say this for certainty, right? But when you see a guy like Derek Brown, you see a guy like J.C. Horn, who have not been typically the most vocal, right? Have not been like the outspoken vocal leaders of this team. They look real comfortable in that locker room, right? Everybody in that locker room looks real comfortable and real tight-knit. And then when you see who's joking around with people most of the time, Nick is involved in that, man. Like that giant smile, the shit talk that he does, and then the play that he does on the field. I just think that there is a lot of fans within that locker room of Nick Scorton. He does the dirty work that you ask him to do. He has no problem being the grunt work, right? The collision blocks, setting the edge, which he is terrific at. Fans want to see more of the pass rush numbers, right? Production. And I agree with that. I don't have a problem with it. But I think that that's a byproduct, too, of being a true 3-down edge player. A lot of these guys that you're seeing, especially young guys, have a very focused role on the teams that they play for. They are being brought in pass obvious situations, and they are being deployed in favorable ways. Nick Scorton, a lot of his work is coming in hustle and effort and relentlessness because he's got multiple assignments in the snap, right? His ability to play in different alignments, versatility along the fronts and sub packages allows for some of those looks. I just couldn't imagine a better building block for a team that was desperate for that kind of personality. That the play that everyone wants to call dirty about him from the Green Bay game, guys, it's not dirty. And you can watch the replay. Sean Ryan, the offensive guard, tried to say, hey, that motherfucker's helmet is in my knees. Go watch the all 22, man. Not the broadcast where you can't see anything through. Go watch the all 22 from the end zone view. What you see is that he's got his outside shoulder into his sternum, into his lower sternum. Sean Ryan braces, gets real awkward about it. He goes back into Tucker Kraft. It's an unfortunate thing. I hate that for Tucker Kraft, right? Absolutely hate that. It's not a dirty play, man. It's just not. That's part of football.
Nick, and I believe the Packers defense did something very similar in that game.
Their offense did. Luke Musgrave, the guy that came in and took over for Tucker Kraft, tried to take out Travis Gibson with a cut block.
That's what it was. Thank you.
And this happens, man. Like it just happens, right? But what Nick Scorton did, he did his job an extra. He took out 2 blockers, man, on that collision, which allowed Trevin to spill. And if Trevin had spilled correctly on that outside shoulder of Nick Scorton, you're looking at an easy tackle. Trevin was a little bit trepidatious to it, and didn't make the instinctual play. That's okay. You know what I mean? Like that's a play that he'll make the next time. I believe that at least. He's been playing better ball. But Nick is a facilitator of a lot of things. And the pass rush right now, the way they win is the way that Nick Scorton plays. Relentless, hair on fire, never give up. The play where Jordan Love threw the should-have-been interception to Mike Jack. Nick Scorton and Turk Wharton were running around like, conjoined twins with their hair on fire. I mean, their movements, everything was the exact same. They were just violently running at him. They look like a scene from that movie Weapons. The kids with just like the arms out and they're just running crazy. It looked like that, and he never gives up. And he's the one that ended up being on the far boundary line and putting mitts on Jordan Love to end that play. I'm such a big fan, man, and I'm glad that he's a Panther.
Yeah, I think back to early in the draft process when we were reviewing your draft guide, Ricky, and I specifically had a question about Nick Scorton and him being rated so high on your edge class because I hadn't seen him that high, on other things that I had reviewed. And Ricky, you've always been one of his biggest supporters throughout the draft process before he was a Panther. And then especially now since he is a Panther.
It's like me, his mom, and his dad in that order.
So definitely giving you your flowers on that. But yeah, I think the one thing that always stands out to me about Nick Scorton is his relentlessness. Like he does not give up on plays no matter what. Whatever happens on the field, he is going to get up and he is going to continue to chase the quarterback or chase the running back or chase the wide receiver that caught the ball. Like him and Derek Brown are very similar in that aspect of they're just gonna finish the play no matter what. And I know that's what Dave Canales coaches is, playing through the whistle and things like that. But those two guys like are the perfect signal of that for a defense. And I think those pass rush numbers will get better through time when when that group improves as a whole. I think things will open up a lot for him too. But I'm not like. In this game in particular, I wasn't sitting there watching the game and being like, man, Jordan Love's got all day to throw. Like, they did a pretty good job of at least pressuring him. They didn't get home very many times, but, Scorton was getting pressure. And I think, at the end of the day, we always talk about, like, he's just, like, inches away from getting the sack. And, yeah, I would love for him to, get home on some of those, but I think that's coming with time. And he's building his repertoire up of pass rush. He's setting the edge. He's becoming a complete edge rusher in the league before our very eyes in his first year.
Yeah, the future's bright for a lot of these young guys they drafted this year. I'm excited Scorton is on the Carolina Panthers. Let's just put it that way. Like, finally, they've gotten a guy that not a lot of us, but several have championed in this draft process of they should go out and get. And they finally delivered on that. And I think even though Pat Jones, that does hurt this, against the run for this team. But I think these reps are so valuable for Nick Scorton's development on this roster. He is playing way more right now. And it's trial by fire. But in the end, at the end of the season and into next year when he takes that next jump, these reps now are going to be massive for him because he's learning so much in the game and on the fly right now. I think is going to be so beneficial. And we even saw that with some of these other guys that are way farther behind him and how valuable those reps were when they had to come in. So I think this is huge for him. And he's taking the most of it. I think he was top 3 among edge rushers as a rookie right now. He's playing better than the guy I wanted Carolina to take in Jalen Walker, who hasn't been on the field much with the Falcons. So just hats off to him. He's playing really well. He's getting an opportunity and he's making the most of it. And I do just want to shout out, and I tweeted this out a couple days ago. I can't remember a rookie draft class Carolina has had where across the board, majority of them have had major impacts on games this season. And that is from the first pick all the way to the kicker at the end of this draft. Like, there's been moments throughout every one of these games, from Tedero McMillan to Jimmy Horn to Nick Scorton to Princely to Ransom to, and I know I'm going to miss some guys, to ETN, to Mitchell Evans, and to Ryan Fitzgerald. Like, and big moments too. These aren't this, like, there was key moments Nick Scorton had in several games. The one this past week, he had a couple sack game a couple weeks ago. You have Tedero McMillan have 2 touchdowns in that Dallas game. You had Fitzgerald with 2 game-winning field goals. Like, those are key moments. Mitchell Evans had a key touchdown late in the game in one of the, I can't remember, it might have been the Dallas game where he scored on like a 4th down or something. So, like, pivotal moments in games this season, this rookie class has delivered. And we complain so much about, maybe they only hit on 1 guy or 2 guys. This class could be pivotal when we look back in a few years of how big it was for the start of something in Carolina.
And you brought up the pressures, and I just wanted to piggyback that for a second too, because he's got the 3rd most pressures of rookie edge defenders, right, at 16. 14 of those have come in the last 6 games, and he's had a pressure at least in every single game in those. And so it is starting to become a consistent thing for him where he's finding what works. He's starting to learn how to win. I think that as the season progresses, those almost gotchas that we've seen from Nick a handful of times, those start to change and switch into sacks. If I had to look at this right now and just for entertainment's sake, put a number on how many sacks does he finish with this season, I think he gets to 7. And he's at like 2.5, 2 right now. I think he's going to turn it up here. I think he's going to have a couple games where he gets 2 sacks in a game, right? Like, I really just think that he's one of those, when things get rolling and he starts doing his thing, man, I just really think that this is a guy that you don't want to let him get confident, because once he gets confident, it's a big world of trouble for the person lined up across from him.
Just want to give you guys an update because I gave my buddy shit who tuned in last week, Kramer, if he was going to tune in tonight, and he just sent me a text and said, "Get that shit off your head." And then he said, "Bryce didn't win that game, Rico did." So there's his 2 comments about the game.
Does he know that both of them play for the Carolina Panthers and that neither of them play for the Green Bay Packers?
So anyway, I thought
because last I checked, both Bryce and Rico got dubs on that beautiful Sunday out there in Lambeau.
2 touchdown underdog. We're into that.
Just going back quickly, and we touched on this, but the Panthers defense of the bend don't break was huge in this game. And I think it goes back to, honestly, overall the entire game. The Panthers dictated this game. They did what they wanted to do, and they forced the Packers to do exactly what they wanted them to do. They had the 2 turnovers. They held Green Bay 1 for 5 in the red zone, which was massive in that game. They had that fumble early on in the game. Packers had that late touchdown at the end. But Carolina dictated this game and did what they wanted. And I think that's huge. Like, that cannot go unnoticed, because when you play a team at this caliber and you can go in on the road and do that, that's massive. Like, that is a huge, and I just want to shout everyone, the players, the staff, like, they went in there and did what they wanted to do. And it was outstanding. And I know that's kind of lamenting what we've all talked about already, but we need to just keep saying it because they deserve the credit, man.
Yeah, Greg Olson got into it a lot during the broadcast about, like, the style of defense that Evero runs and how it's becoming more popular across the league of, allowing the underneath stuff, allowing teams to run, but you're not going to beat us over the top, and then we're going to tighten up in the red zone. Evero has gotten so much shit, and sometimes deservedly so, throughout his time here in Carolina, but the turnaround this defense has made this year under his direction, with pieces added, with talent on the field, that scheme is looking good. And I was frustrated in the game. In particular, there was a 4th down, I think, in the red zone, where the corner was playing like 10 yards off on a 4th and 3, right? There's still little things that frustrate me. But overall, like, the defense Kramer's in here. Okay. The defense is just doing its job, plain and simple. And they're not getting beat over the top. In fact, when Jordan Love tried to challenge that, didn't turn out very well for him. Shout out to Evero, man. The defense is just something that I don't think any of us expected this year. The way they've played so far through 9 weeks.
I'm glad that he's got the personnel. Real quick before we get into it.
Oh, all right.
No. I wanted to ask Brandon Kramer. I wanted to ask your friend Kramer a question. Will you bring up his comment here? Says no one needs to see that video again. And all right, Kramer, that's what you go by, right? Not Brandon, because Curtis is calling.
Yeah, he goes by Kramer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kramer. Talk quietly, so like get real close and listen. Like turn your earphones up or turn the volume up or whatever it is that you're doing. Because the biggest thing I want to say to you is that makes 3. I tell you what.
Very well said.
We appreciate you, Kramer. Thanks for listening to my little soapbox there.
My favorite part of the I tell you what is Ricky's comb over. We get to see it when he takes his hat off.
I know it, man. I'll tell you what, man. This hat it positions my hair in a very odd way, don't it? Like I've got a really nice head of lettuce.
It looks good.
It's growing long, but this hat just like puts me in. I guess this is why you see so many Cowboys that are bald as shit, because these cowboy hats just rub your forehead, man. Like,
oh man. Anything else you guys want to touch on before we get into our next segment?
No, we are at 3 on the over under. By the way, it was 3.5, so we're 1 away from.
We'll get there.
Over.
We'll get there.
I think we will too. Yeah.
All right. You wanna hit the statistically speaking? We'll talk about the game this weekend.
Yeah. Let me get over to it real quick.
And Ricky, before we do that, do we want to talk about some of the giveaways that happened over because of this game this weekend?
Yeah, look, it ain't unlike us to play a video twice, so we can always just run that thing back if we need to. Yeah, let's talk about some of the giveaways, right? I forget who it was in the comments. Somebody said they would do a jersey. I know we had Joko. I've been in contact with Joko about the ticket giveaway that is coming. Joko, I don't know if you're cool with me saying what your plan was and which game you are getting a ticket to give away. We'll wait for Joko to comment here in the chat because I know that he's here tonight. But for me, I got the jersey giveaway. So what we'll do is we'll figure out a way. I'm not going to just buy a particular jersey. We'll wait and let somebody, win the drawing. Tell us the size, tell us the player, and we'll get it set up. Let's do a jersey that is already out, not one of the custom ones that cost an extra $55 or whatever the case is. But for anyone counting at home, Nick Scorton jerseys are available. Tedero McMillan jerseys are available. Trayvon Merrick jerseys are available. Bryce Young, Derek Brown, great guy to get. Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle. Yeah, there's a lot of Ike Ekwonu, Rob Hunt. There's a lot of quality jerseys out there. So we will figure out a way. Maybe we kick that off next week, guys. We'll brainstorm during this week, and then we will open up the drawing next week. We'll probably be looking exactly like this. If I had to give you a little preview about what I'm going to talk about with statistically speaking, I will be wearing this hat next week, this time. And we'll give away a jersey. What else was there something else, boys, that I'm missing that we had to give away?
No, I think that was it.
Yeah. Okay.
That was it.
Okay. And then Joko, as soon as we get a confirmation one way or the other, we'll say about that. But there will be a ticket given away as well. It's for a game a little bit later in the year. Home game here in Carolina. Good game, good team. Going to be a fun one. So should I run that video again, Curtis? All right. Statistically speaking, one of our favorite segments here on this show. We have been pretty much nailing it lately, guys, with this. I feel like for the past, I don't know, Baker's half dozen games, we've been looking at this, and it's just been the keys and the things that we highlight have been really critical to the way that the football game goes. Does anyone want to take the Panthers and I'll take the Saints, or do you want me to just run through the Panthers? You guys tell me.
We'll keep doing what we've been doing. You do the Panthers, Bryson will do the opposing team, and I'll sit back and drink beer.
Sounds perfect. You let me know when you're in need of another video, because we do have one that we could play. 18.9. Yep.
Ricky, if you want to switch it up this week, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with it.
Oh, you're willing to risk the dice, huh?
Okay, now that you put it that way, I don't want it to be my fault if something happens.
I'm not. I wouldn't say that I'm superstitious. I am a little stitious, but
yeah.
No, I'm not worried about it, man. I could do either way. I can run through this, or we can switch it up. I'm not worried about those Saints one bit, man. And I'd put it on the line with that.
You take it away.
Okay.
Take it away.
18.9 points per game for this Carolina Panthers offense. That's 27th in the league. 170.9 pass yards per game, 30th in the league. That is music to all the Bryce Young haters. It is something that I do anticipate seeing more production here in these next couple of games. I still think, Bryson, you brought this up when we were talking about the Packers game. You said Rico Dowdle had 25 carries in that game, right? Bryce Young threw it 20 times. If you want Bryce to put up more production, you're asking to throw the ball more. But what fans are asking is for Rico Dowdle to be the workhorse and to be the engine that drives this train. That's what we're doing, and it's winning football games. So stick at it. And the reason I say to stick at it, it's because you got 139.8 rushing yards per game, 5th in the league. EPA per pass, negative 0.18, 29th in the league. An inefficient pass game so far. It'll get better. I truly believe that. The weapons are back in place now. Jalen Coker, Dave Canales talked about it, wants to get him in a position to, as he said, quote unquote, come alive. Maybe that happens this Sunday against that Saints team. EPA per rush, 7th in the league at plus 0.02. Pass, they're throwing the ball 52.8% of the time, 27th. They're not throwing the ball a lot. 27th in the league. They're just not throwing the ball a lot. So, just get on board with it, man. I don't even want to do any more explanations. Get on board. This is what we're doing here in Carolina. We're going to ground and pound. Bryce Young is going to throw for 75 funky-ass little yards, and we're going to keep on winning football games, and everyone's going to be happy about it. 22.8 points.
Can we hit these two super chats, and we'll get into the defense?
Yes,
is that cool?
Sure.
And if I missed this one, I'm sorry. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Shan B, $5. If Rico gets fined, he should appeal.
Oh, that's good.
I
Shan.
love that.
That's good. That.
Cheers to you, Shan. Appreciate it.
Well done, man.
And then the Purdue Boilermaker, Panther Bo, $1 coming in hot. Appreciate you, Panther Bo.
Kind of surprised you didn't do $1.10, so you got the Nick Scorton 11 in there. But hey, Bo, appreciate you, man. All right, now that I got me a couple more sips of the grape juice, let's go into it. Points per game allowed for the defense, 22.8 points per game. That is 16th in the league. That's about where we talked about, right? Every week we keep saying, I think that they're going to find that middle ground. They're going to level out in that half of the, halfway mark, maybe even closer to that 13. But I think somewhere in that 13 to 20 range is where this defense is going to end up falling at the end of the year. Passing yards per game, 205.8 yards, 15th, middle of the road. Rushing yards per game, 110.8. We were giving up 210 for the first couple of weeks of the season. That's 18th in the league. EPA per pass attempt tied for 22nd at plus 0.04. EPA per rush is tied for 11th best at negative 0.05. And then opponents are throwing the ball 57.4% of the time against us. That is 16th. You look at the ascending stairs right there of that graphic, and it is middle of the road. I mean, that is what you were looking at here. And that's a good way for this defense to be. For a bend, don't break defense that doesn't generate a ton of pressure, those numbers are totally acceptable, in my opinion. You can win football games with those numbers in this NFL, especially if your identity is a possession, run the ball, mitigate turnovers, stop the run type of defense. That's a real recipe for success, I think.
Ricky, I have a question about the rushing yards per game.
Yep.
Is it do quarterback rushing yards, is that factored into that number?
Yeah, I think it's a total cumulative. It doesn't matter. It's not about rushing attempts by a running back. If there's an end around sweep, that's still going to count, right? It's not a thing. It's a cumulative rushing. The sacks won't come out of that rushing number though. That's all rushing attempts beyond the line of scrimmage, right? You're not going to lose yards. Sometimes when you look at the totals, there's like yardage loss for individual players in fantasy football or whatever. Not the way it works with cumulative stats in the NFL.
Cool.
Keys for this game. Rush attempts of 10 plus yards for the Carolina Panthers. This used to be a thorn in our side, boys. This that we would talk about and we'd say we cannot get this going for this Panthers offense. Then we would get matchups against certain teams and we'd say, all right, man, this is what's my favorite word? Opportunity. This is an opportunity for us to put some of those together. Well, we have put 28 explosive rush plays together this season. That is 9th most in the NFL. Give a round of applause. Take a drink for Rico Dowdle. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to include Chuba Hubbard in that because he's not doing that currently. I don't think it's over in curtains for him, but Rico Dowdle, take a lap, man. You have earned that one.
And it would have been 29 if it wasn't for JT Sanders not lining up correctly on the.
Oh, you know what I was glad about is how we all didn't talk about him.
Yeah.
in the lineup. I'm in too good of a mood. I'm in too positive of a mindset for this Carolina Panthers team to focus on that. Let's just keep it really basic with him and say, let's hope that JT Sanders has a bounce back game against New Orleans Saints this week. Can we just do that? Can we just be positivity Ricky tonight? 1.48 yards before contact per rush attempt for this Panthers offense. That's 11th best in the league. That is inflicting your will. That is dictating what you want to do. That is the hog mollies up front. Whether it's Robert Hunt or Robert Handy Hunt, whether it's Damian Lewis, whether it's Cade Mays, Ike Ekwonu, Taylor Moton, Jake Curran, Brady Christensen. I don't know if I can get to all 12 of them, boys, but I'm going to try. I mean, honestly, we have had so many offensive linemen play, and Joe Gilbert and Harold Goodwin have done such a remarkable job getting this ground game going, getting the scheme tightened up, making the scheme innovative and creative in the future, as opposed to an outdated, this is just what we did, and so we're going to keep doing it. I have absolutely loved what they've done. That's going to be an important thing, is dictating the line of scrimmage against the Saints team. We'll talk about that later. Shift motion rate for these Panthers. I think that this has to get better. This is a situation where I wanted to highlight something, and I don't remember if I have the picture or not. Let me hold on. Give me 1 second. Because Edgar, our friend Panthers analyst on Twitter, you guys know him. Very smart, very nice fella. He shared something that I thought was really pertinent to this figure. I am going to share my screen real quick if I can, guys. Give me 1 second here. All right, here we go. From Edgar Salmingo Jr. This dot chart, and you know that I'm not a big dot chart kind of guy. I don't care for them. But this one highlights and illuminates something that plays into the key. And so I wanted to have a little bit of backup to correspond with what we're talking about here. The bottom line here is the EPA per play with motion, pre-snap motion, right? The line over here on the top, the vertical line, is EPA per play without motion. You can see Bryce Young is right here, the blue dot in between the 0 and the 0.20 on the positive side. Bryce Young is a top 16-ish, 17-ish quarterback with motion. If you look at it from there, EPA-wise, he is a bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarterback without motion. That is what this chart is telling you, at least, right? Don't take it as gospel. Don't look at it and say, oh, well, then you just got to do motion 100% of the time and he'll be a great quarterback. No, it takes some, right? You got to do a little bit of dealing with that. You have to figure out how to keep defenses honest. You can't just run it constantly. You're going to lose the fact that it creates advantages if you're just running it on every single rep. But there are teams like the 49ers, like the Rams, like the Packers that we just played, that deploy pre-snap shift emotions at like 65, 68, 63%. I think that with the incorporation of Jimmy Horn Jr., I think that it would be wise to boost those numbers. I think that you could use Jalen Coker. I think you can use him on some of those insert motions. I think he's proven to be a good run blocker. I think Xavier Legette could do that same thing. I keep seeing Curtis smiling up there in the top corner, and I don't know what he's smiling about. Let me ask real quick, because you're throwing off my flow now. I'm trying to be all super informative and formal Ricky down here. I already got this cowboy hat. I got a head buzz off the champagne, and you're just up there giggling with this fucking like shark cheese hat that I still can't decide what you even are.
Panthers Mo's got me dying over here.
He's crying. He's crying.
I can't even see. Look at this. This is my problem. While I'm doing that, statistically speaking, I am so locked in. I'm like Bryce Young talking to Ha Ha Clinton Dix. Like I'm just locked in. I don't got time for it. But let me go back here and look at this chat now with Panther Bo. $1. That's all the money I have, unless a double boner hat. That's okay. Yeah, good. He's an elf shoe, Panther Gelson. That's exactly what he is. He's an upside down elf shoe. Oh my God, that's terrific. At least Tony is laughing with you, Curtis. What up, Tony? I don't think I said hello to you earlier, man. My bad.
I'm sorry. At least I was on mute. I was dying over here, though.
Yeah, you were on mute. It was like looking at like this, like she said, an upside down canoe or an elf shoe, just giggling the entire time. And I was like, what am I saying that's funny? Like he doesn't like contact after rushes, or like what is the deal? Okay, let's get into the defense real quick. I apologize for the interruption. Actually, Curtis apologizes for the interruption. Quarterback pressure rate. This is the one we talked about, right? Not going to remove this until we're better. But do you see what I got next to it this week, boys? Got a little trending up arrow.
Let's go.
Because for the first time all season, we are not 30th or worse. There is a 2 at the beginning of our ranking. Now, yes, it is the lowest 2 it could possibly be at 29th. But that number went from 26.1 going into week 9 to 26.8. And I think that matters, man, because this defense is starting to show a little bit of juice. It's starting to show a little bit of life. Trevis Gibson, I want to see more of him. We did not talk about him, and we should have. I think that was a miscue on our part because I thought Trevis Gibson played a very good game for a guy who had just come off the bus 5 days prior to that game and played better than the guy whose number he was wearing for the duration of that guy's career, and he did it in 1 day. So shout out, and I believe that Trevis is about the same age as the other 52, despite this being his 5th year in the league. So shout out Trevis Gibson. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Takeaways for this defense. We got 9 takeaways on the season, boys. A lot better than what we used to be. We used to really struggle to create turnovers. 9 takeaways is tied for 18th in the league. That is going to be important against the New Orleans Saints. When we get into their statistically speaking segment, you'll see why. 2.99 yards after contact per rush attempt the Carolina Panthers defense is allowing. That's going to be important because you're going up against a guy like Alvin Kamara, Devin Neal. Kendre Miller is out. He has a season-ending injury. That was the third-year man out of TCU. Devin Neal is the rookie out of Kansas. I enjoy him. I think that he's a pretty solid back. The New Orleans Saints did just trade their starting left guard, Trevor Penning, at the trade deadline. He went to the Los Angeles Chargers. I almost called him the San Diego Chargers because I am old. But he is gone. He is not a terrific pass blocker, but he is a mauler. He is a physical guy. They kicked him inside because of that exact reason, and they drafted Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas, who has been playing decent. But that offensive line and then our ability to finish plays and make tackles. We talked about how good Christian Roseboom has been the past couple of weeks. He is like the ultimate Sour Patch Kid for me, guys. One play, he takes just an egregious angle and misses a tackle that I think most linebackers in the NFL would make. But then other times, you don't even see him in the aspect ratio, and he comes knifing through to make a terrific play. He does sift through traffic pretty well for a linebacker. I think that he's got good instincts. He reminds me a little bit of Josie Jewell in the way that he is just athletically limited by how dynamic he can do certain things. But he is proving to feel comfortable in the system and get himself in the position correctly more oftentimes than not. Does anyone want to do the Saints element of this one?
I'll jump in.
Heck yeah, let's do it, Bryson.
All right, the juggernaut, the New Orleans Saints, the bottom of the barrel of the NFL. Pleases me to say that. If anyone knows me, they know my younger brother is a Saints fan. So I tried to get him to come to the game this weekend. I am going with Curtis and try to get him to tag along, but he's not willing to come because he knows what's likely.
He's your younger brother. You couldn't have beat him up a couple times and got him out of that habit, man?
I tried. All right, 15.3 points per game for the Saints offense is 31st in the NFL. They are not scoring a lot. Poor quarterback play, whether it's Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck, they're just not scoring a lot. Passing yards per game at 22nd, it's 197.6. Their rushing yards per game at 27th at 89.6. So this defense has a chance to feast on this rushing game. We'll see. I know Kamara's kind of been a thorn in our side throughout the time he's been here in the division. At negative 0.22 EPA per pass, it's 30th in the NFL. Not good. Negative 0.14 EPA per rush, 29th in the NFL. Not good. And then at 61.3% of the time, they are passing. So they're throwing the ball a lot. Probably the game script, I would imagine. They've been in actually a lot of their games, though. It's been close for the Saints. Competitive when Rattler was in there. Haven't won very many. Obviously, you look at the record down there at the bottom, 1-8, not very good, but they've been competitive in a lot of their games. If we want to get to the defense here.
Ricky's distracted.
You're on mute, Ricky.
If you click on the screen, sorry, I was trying to type something. If you click on the screen or just bring your cursor up there, it'll go to the slides thing right there in the middle, and you can click left or right. I don't know if anyone can do that or if it's just me. I'm pretty sure that everyone else can.
You go.
Yeah, there
All
you
right,
go. Defense.
Cool. Sorry about that.
Sorry, guys.
All right. The Saints defense, they're allowing 27 points per game, tied 24th in the NFL. They're allowing 203.9 passing yards per game, 14th in the NFL. So a good opportunity for Bryce to get those numbers up versus this defense if that's the way the game plan goes. If they're running the ball against a defense that's allowing 129.4 yards per rushing yards per game at 24th in the NFL, then, that's fine too. Whatever gets the win. Like we talked about early on, I'm not box score watching. I'm just looking for the end result of a W. At plus 0.09 EPA per pass, 26th in the NFL. And then negative 0.05 EPA per rush, tied 11th in the NFL. And teams are passing at a rate of 48.9%, 32nd in the NFL.
Lowest in the league, man.
Lowest in the league.
That is important when you look at some of their stuff because it provides a little bit of perspective, right? When you see the pass yards per game allowing 203.9, 14th, you're like, oh, they got a pretty stingy pass defense, right? But teams are only throwing it 48% of the time, 49% of the time, not throwing it that often. Rushing yards per game, that also perspectivizes that a little bit because 129.4, but they're running it 51.5% of the time. That's a lot, right? Interesting. It's interesting to see. But Bryson, and I didn't mean to cut you off on this, but I'm curious about what y'all think of this because I heard, or I was tagged in a conversation and someone was saying, hey, this Saints team, I'm worried that their run defense is a good run defense and that it is going to force Carolina to throw the ball to win this game. And it's because when you look at their success rate against the run, they are like something like 11th or 10th in success rate against the run. That's one of those advanced analytic measures. But the difference is Carolina, what they just did with Green Bay, they're not worried about what a team wants you to be able to do against them. Carolina is worried about what they want to do to other teams. And no matter what the Saints have proven to do, look at that number. They're allowing 129.4. And you're like, yeah, but people have to run it a lot. What do you think the Panthers' game plan is coming into this game and every game for the rest of the season? Run the ball a lot. So that 129.4, I fully anticipate this Carolina Panthers team to be able to establish the run and increase that number for the New Orleans Saints after this week.
Yeah, I'm not losing sleep over any aspect of the Saints team. I'm really not. I think Carolina, I agree, Ricky is going to dictate this game and how it goes.
This bit about talking about what Curtis's hat looks like, this should never end. I hope this never ends. I hope this episode goes for 4 hours tonight.
You didn't even showcase one of the best comments, and if I can find it here, from Katie.
Oh, Katie's was great. Curtis is wearing the iceberg the Titanic ran into. I mean, just killer stuff, man. I understand why Curtis was over here crying and looking at it. Like this was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, by the way, this beer is like drinking tree water.
I told you. It's like sucking on a Christmas tree.
All right. Look at that. I changed the slide. Woo! Okay.
Good stuff,
all right.
man.
I'm learning. The keys to this game against the Saints team. So they have 14 giveaways, tied 30th in the NFL. 30th most, I assume, if I'm correct, Ricky. So I think obviously there's an opportunity for this defense to get a couple more from them. We just played a team that never gave the ball away really and got 2 in that game. So you have the opposite.
Sorry. When you look at these, Bryson, the offensive side, if it says 30th, that's bad, right?
Yeah.
It's like the inverse, like blitz rate over there on the defensive side, that's 8th most as opposed to 8th least.
Yeah.
30th is 30th, meaning like they're the worst, second to worst.
Yeah. So they're giving the ball away at a high rate. And I think that's a good key to key in on for this defense. All right. So yards after the catch, 769, 29th in the NFL. Not getting a whole lot of yak. In trading away Rashid Shaheed, I imagine does not help that number whatsoever.
I'm glad you said that, man.
That's a good thing for us here in Carolina because he is a scary threat with the deep ball. All right, 0.63 yards before contact per rush attempt, 30th in the NFL. So the offensive line for the Saints is not enforcing their will. You guys are killing me. All right. On the defensive side of the ball, they've allowed 32 rushes of 10+ yards or more, 26 in the NFL. So we have Carolina who's getting those at a higher clip at this point in time, and a defense that's allowing a lot. So I think running the ball is probably a good plan, like we talked about.
Right. And Bryson, the yards before contact per rush attempt at 0.63. Yeah. That's what we were talking about earlier with the Panthers one, right?
Yeah.
It's that ability to inflict your will, impose your will on the defense. And what that is showing that for their offense, they don't have a very dominant offensive line when it comes to imposing their will. And their running backs aren't exactly elusive. Alvin Kamara, man, look, he's been a thorn in our side, like you talked about. But Father Time is being a little bit of a thorn in his side as well, right? The surrounding talent for Alvin Kamara is a thorn in his side right now. Because the only thing that you're worried about playing this New Orleans Saints team right now, it ain't Tyler Shuck. I promise you that. And that is how you pronounce it, Shuck. And I love that because that is going to be so fun on Sunday. Like the very first mistake that he makes, I'm putting this cowboy hat and I'm just going to say, oh, shucks, partner. Like all day. I can't wait to do it. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to drink beer with my kid and I'm going to say, oh, shucks, all day.
Oh, we got Perry the Platypus and then the tool that the doctors use to check the
reflexes. Oh, Katie is on fire right now.
She's cooking. All right, 1.17 yards before contact per rush attempt, 13th. So hey, that's pretty good for the defense there. And then 31.7% blitz rate, 8th most in the NFL. So they are pressuring a lot. I assume they're probably struggling with a 50-year-old edge rusher to get pressure, and they have to manufacture that. So I think we're all comfortable with Bryce against blitzes and him identifying, who's coming and who's not, and him making the right read in that situation.
Yeah, I want to add, so you guys know I like to do this, right? After we've been doing this the past couple of weeks, I'd like to add a little, I look at that as like our ice cream sundae of this show, right? That's a very enjoyable part. It gets you what you want. It gets you something that you enjoy. Now, first, before I get into my bonuses, though, I do want the camera to see this because what does that look like to you guys? It looks like a fourth video. Well, we hit the over. That's fun. All right. Couple of bonus tidbits, if I can. Tidbits, not tidbutts. Tidbutts is crazy.
Pause.
Tidbutts is crazy. Tidbutts is what a cowboy says after he's drank too much champagne. All right. Bryson, you just brought up Rashid Shaheed. Christ almighty. things have gone.
Someone take the
down.
champagne away.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you watching this show. I'm Ricky Raines. We'll see you next week. You brought up Rashid Shaheed being traded to the Seattle Seahawks, and you pointed to the yak number as the impactful part there, and I agree on that completely. Right, Shaheed also was their deep threat. He's what threatened the defense and had to keep a defense honest. They don't have anyone else really in that receiver room that does that. I mean, they are very one-dimensional, and that is big for a team like Carolina that keeps a lot of things in front of them. But for Rashid Shaheed, the other thing that really comes up here, and one of their best parts of their team this entire year, the only place where they have an advantage over other actual NFL teams is their punt return game. And do you know why? Because Rashid Shaheed was their punt returner. They were 8th in the league at punt return average at 12.9 yards. Carolina Panthers have emphasized this being a 3-phase recipe for winning, right? All 3 phases of the game is what you have to do. Special teams can't be forgotten, guys. It is critical. And in a game where Sam Martin can pin, he's 1 punt away, I think, from getting 300 punts that pin opponents inside the 20, by the way. There's a little factoid for you, something to watch for. The next one that he does, he's 300 of those things. But Rashid Shaheed being gone, that's critical for them. That 8th ranking is the highest advantage ranking they have on any statistic, offensively or special teams. Their kickoff game is shit. Their run game is shit. Their pass game is shit. They're shit without Rashid Shaheed. And they literally traded him away and just said, Carolina Panthers, I hope you enjoy this bag of Cajun shit we're bringing to Charlotte, North Carolina on Sunday. Another thing for special teams. Let's talk about this because we talked about Ryan Fitzgerald. Let's talk about their kicker, Blake Grupe. Field goal percentage this year of 16 out of 22, good for 72.7%. You say, well, maybe he's just had a bad game, right? Hey, guess what his 5-year collegiate career field goal percentage was? 74.3. This dude don't hit at a high mark. And for a bend don't break defense,
it's going to be a little rainy on Sunday.
It's going to be a little bit cloudy, overcast. It might get a little bit of drizzle on it. But even if it's a sunny day in Carolina and the birds are chirping and it's beautiful outside, that doesn't matter to Blake Grupe. It's raining in his damn head. He don't like it. He don't like kicking field goals.
He kicks in the dome. So
he kicks in the dome, man. When's the last time it rained in the Superdome, right? But that is something to keep an eye on because if they can't convert opportunities into points, this has the opportunity to get away from them really quickly. And Carolina is a team that when they smell blood offensively, they have a little bit more fun. We've seen that from this team. When they have a lead, man, they open up and they play a little bit more carefree. Another part for me. Penalties for the New Orleans Saints. They've committed the 6th most at 68 penalties. Carolina, on the other end of things, has committed 51, the 7th fewest. So discipline and affording extra opportunities and affording extra yardage is going to be a key in this game. We talked about the blitz rate, right? They have the 2nd or 3rd most 5-man blitz rate in the entire NFL, but their quarterback pressure rate is 30.3%, which is good for 26th in the league. So despite them sending extra people, they're not getting home or they're not getting pressure all that often. For this next one, I'm going to put up a little thing on the screen if I can. This is another one of those dot charts. This one is courtesy of Cody Alexander and Match Quarters. Oh, no, that's the other one from Edgar. I don't know where the other one went. Hold on, give me a second, guys. Give me 1 second. I apologize. Well, I don't have it. That's live TV, everybody. I don't have it, but it was a dot chart that showed the difference between the way, because Brandon Staley, the defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints, was also with Ejiro Evero in Los Angeles back in 2020, I believe it was. There's a lot of crossover players on these two rosters that have played with each other, coincidentally. That's a really fun thing if you want to look that up. Austin Corbett, Christian Roseboom. A lot of these guys, I think it's 6 of them, have played with each other, Bobby Brown. But Brandon Staley plays a much more aggressive version of the middle field closed coverage shells that Ejiro Evero also rolls out. Evero just plays a little bit more of a conservative side, which we all are familiar with. We all know, right? We see our corners in off coverage. That is the one adjustment that I think we all have brought up that we would like to see different in situational components is when it's 3rd and 2, maybe you don't have JC and Mike playing 7 yards or 8 yards off for a quick slant that will get the first down. But it's an interesting juxtaposition between the two when you look at the fact that they come from similar backgrounds and understanding. Brandon Staley is a better coordinator than he was a coach, so that is something to keep an eye on for it. Speaking of their blitz rate, though, 2nd and long, 2nd and medium, they're the 4th and 6th highest blitz rate in the NFL. If they have an opportunity to get you into conflict by making 3rd down their key down and their long down, that's what their aim is from a defensive standpoint. They're not looking for 3rd and shorts. They're not looking for 3rd and mediums. They want to create conflict. And that by doing that, they send extra pressure on 2nd and 3rd downs. So those are a couple of things. Time of possession is the last one I'll highlight. Time of possession for the New Orleans Saints, 26 minutes and 37 seconds average time of possession. Dead last in the NFL. We can control the clock. We can control the narrative. We can control the game flow of this game. And we can control the scoreboard at the end of the day. So,
did y'all see Joko's comment here?
If the Panthers win the division, I'll give 500 to On Tap. Joko. Hey, Joko, now that you're here, man, I don't know if you heard me talking about the ticket giveaway. You cool with me saying which game it is that you're doing the ticket giveaway, and we'll get all the details hammered out over the next little bit of time. We'll post that, and then
let us know, Ricky. Let's hit that video, and then we'll do predictions.
I like the way you think. That's my favorite thing in the whole world, guys. I got to level with you right now.
So good.
It's my favorite thing in the whole world. I tell you what.
Injected into my veins, man.
Should we get to the chat predictions before we do this?
Let's do the game. I think Joko responded. He said, yeah.
Oh, Joko says, yeah. So Joko is going to purchase and volunteer up a Los Angeles Rams ticket for a Panther fan. I had to look up the date. Let's see.
It's 2 weeks away, I believe.
Yeah. It's a November game. Wanted to give enough time for a fan that is either deciding can I get there for it, or that lives here in Charlotte and needs to make plans around it. It is a really good game to go to. It could be a very meaningful game as well. That's November 30th. It's a 1 p.m. game, so it is Thanksgiving weekend. So make sure that you do not have travel plans or anything like that prior to the game that would make you miss it, because we want this ticket. And Joko was explicit about this when we spoke about this today. We want this ticket to go to somebody who is going to go to this game and have an absolute ball watching this Panthers team battle against another team fighting for the playoffs. And what is honestly a very probable playoff position if we were to get in. We could see these Rams in that situation. So really cool of Joko. He's making good on his bet. I'm making good on the jersey bet. There are opportunities for our Panthers on Tap listeners to reap the rewards of our drunken shenanigans on this show. And the Believe Network, look what you signed up for, man. Look what you got in your hands. You guys won, huh? You got a cowboy that's giving away a jersey. You got fans giving away tickets. And then you got Papa Smurf over here wearing a shoe on his head. Like, you never envisioned it in your wildest dreams that you would have Jonathan Stewart on one of your shows and you had these beautiful mugs on the other one.
Let's get to the chat for the predictions, then we'll get to ours here. I might have missed some of these. So Tony, 27-13 Panthers. Panthers Bo, 34-13. Joko, 24-6.
Coming in hot.
Panthers Dog, 21-17. Katie, 40-0. Jay Ballmer, 38-10 Carolina. Man, this is like the college game day where no one picks the other team, you know?
Oh man.
Ew.
Carter, I'm not going to say what you got here, but 34-0 Carolina. 32-10 Zachary. Yeah. 20-10, 28-10. No one has my
Happy
score
birthday
yet.
once again to Chris Dillard. 28-10 from the birthday boy there. Write that one down.
All right, gentlemen.
Hey, real quick, we also missed some super chats. We missed Panther Bo.
Oh, we did. I'm
We
sorry.
missed another super chat. What
No,
are
we
doing
missed.
here?
We missed a lot here.
Yeah.
So Panthers both said 2 super chats gets get played. We played the song. We're not going to play it for another time. But
Hey, Bo, stick around until the end of the
Excuse
show. I'll play it for you again. Don't listen to fuck this guy.
I'm out of beer, so I'm just gonna
Keaton
give
Bullock.
you a good fist.
What? Hey, here's your 111, Ricky. Cheers to you, Keaton.
Hey,
Boom.
Keaton, you did it. World's best cup of coffee. Nice job, Keaton.
Looks like Ricky took a leak into that cup. He's drinking it all.
Took a leak into the cup. It's champagne, you fool. Because my champagne is velvety and
Boom.
luxurious. It looks like whiz. What do you did that? Whatever seaweed you got on your head is starting to mess with the insides.
And then $1 again from Panthers Bowl. We appreciate you guys on the super
Panther
chats.
Bo, I'll tell you what.
All right, gentlemen. Ricky, let's start with you.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
I'm still
you're going to
drinking.
start this time.
Okay.
Prediction, score, what's going to happen here?
All right. This is a game. I would never call it a trap game because I don't think that the Panthers are at a crescendo, a peak, right? Where you should be playing down or overlooking an opponent. But look at the opponent next week, too. It's the Atlanta Falcons going to Atlanta. You know that they're aware of that game. They beat them 30-0. You know that is like on the radar. I don't think they're thinking of it at all, but you know it's on the radar. We know the Saints just traded away their most dangerous weapon. We know that they're 1-8. We know that they have 0 road wins. They are going for their first road win. The Panthers have been a team that was going for their first road win against a really bad team in the New York Jets, right? We got ours. So you have to at least consider the Saints coming out and having some sort of weird motivational, bayou voodoo or some kind of weird shit, because that's what it would take to beat the Carolina Panthers, because you can't do it with playing football. The Carolina Panthers are a much better football team than the New Orleans Saints. They're a better coached football team. They have more talent at important positions on this football team. I think that Rico Dowdle goes for 165 yards and at least 1 touchdown. If I'm feeling froggy, I'll give him 2, but one's going to be a receiving touchdown from Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young throws 3 touchdowns in this football game. I think Jalen Coker finds the end zone for the first time this season. I think Tedero McMillan finds the end zone again this season, or in this game for the season. Defensively, man, I think Trevin Merrick continues his run. I think he gets another sack. I think Nick Scorton gets another sack. I think there's at least 2 turnovers in this game. I'm not entirely sure how that comes about. Strip sack, maybe. Maybe Trevon Merrick gets it. Maybe J.C. Horn picks one off again. Maybe Mike Jack finally catches one. I don't know. Shaw Smith-Wade. Don't forget about that fella too, because he's rotating in and out on the safety position. I've said all of that to tell you the score of this football game, and I feel good about this score. I'm going to give it 27-9 Carolina Panthers. And that's probably a missed extra point by Blake.
I'll let Bryson go last, since I think I went last time. Last week, I was the only one on this show to take Carolina. I also predicted 25 to 38 carries for Rico in a successful game. He got 25. Got some shit for that. So just wanted to toot my own horn there for a minute.
Where's the horn on that thing? Is it one of the fucking
right here?
No, don't touch it. That makes sense.
That thing honks like this. Is like bahooga.
Man, I do think this is going to be a harder game than most think. Divisional matchup. However, the Saints just traded away. Oh my God. Y'all, your comment, I got to separate. Your guys,
I want to send a super chat to Bo now.
I'm actually shocked that comment didn't come earlier, to be honest with y'all, because you guys have been on one tonight.
That's what Curtis has been thinking all night, apparently.
But back to the game. I think because it's a divisional game, you can never overlook them because they're usually closer games. But Ricky talked about it before. The Saints just traded away their starting left guard. They just traded away arguably, some would say, could be their best receiver. Some have argued that. I've seen that online. And you're also getting a rookie in his second start in Tyler Shuck. He got blown out last week against the Rams. I think they scored like 10 points. Rams put up 30 plus. I think Carolina wins this game. They're going to run the ball a lot. Ricky said 160. I think it gets closer to 200. And they continue to pound the rock with Rico. And I know they're kind of managing him a little bit. But Carolina, I don't think Carolina's forgotten about this game last year when they got their asses kicked. 47-10. And that was when Derek Carr was there a year ago. And then they won that very close game at the end. But I'm going to go Carolina wins this game 28-17.
They put up 17, huh?
Yeah, 28-17.
Do we own goal 7 of those points or something? Do we kick that in our own goal?
No, I think it's division, man. I think that's why it'll be a little bit closer than you might think.
You were right last week, so I shouldn't say anything to the Oracle when you're wearing your hat like that.
Just
so we'll see.
Right in the face.
But 28-17, I'll go Carolina wins this one.
All right, I'll go last.
Bring us home, Bryson.
After everything we've talked through tonight about the Saints team, I think it's clear which team on paper and throughout the first 9 weeks has been the better team. You know, not only looking at the record, but just top to bottom roster wise, right? The Saints are going in a much different direction than Carolina. Their years of kicking the can down the road has caught up with them, and they unfortunately do not have a quarterback. Trying to figure that out. Unfortunately for them, not for us. I think that this game is not going to be particularly close. I don't think it should be. If it is, then I think we might be having a different conversation next week. But I guess my prediction, I'll go with 21-3. I don't think the Saints are going to put up very many points at all. I think the field goal comes late. The field goal comes late. I mean, it's close to a shutout. I think the defense is playing at a pretty high level right now. I think Nick Scorton gets 2 sacks in this game. Ricky, you mentioned it earlier that you think one of those games is coming for him. I think it's this one. I think Chuck is. I'm with you. Is going to shuck a couple towards Nick Scorton.
I see what you did there. You slide dog you.
Some sacks, okay? I do think there's going to be turnovers. I think Chuck is going to throw an interception, and then turnover on downs, probably some kind of situation like that. The Saints trying to continue to move the ball down the field, but yeah, I'll go 21-3. I don't think it's going to be close, and I think the Saints' offense is going to be pitiful.
Man, that riles me up, Bryson. That honestly, I feel like I've got Curtis's hat in my pants right now listening to you talk about 21-3.
Oh, man.
I feel like Ryan Khalil, a couple of Coke cans down there right now, the way you talk about 21-3.
You put in the zinger right at the end.
Yeah, they're going to get rid of us off of this network real fast. But hey, real quick, before we get into the end of the episode, I did want to say
Was that the 5th time?
That was number 5, baby.
Guys, never stop celebrating this win. I loved every single video we played tonight. Like I said in the spaces after the game when Bryson was in there, the Panthers are 5-4 for the first time since 2019. Don't take this moment for granted. Talk all the shit you want because you never know when they're going to be back here. So that's why we celebrate all the time. You might as well take it in when you can because it's seriously never know when you have 7 straight seasons of hell like we've all endured. So
we're fans. We're supposed to enjoy winning. Just enjoy winning, man. I what a fun show, man. I can't wait to do this again next week where we talk about another Panthers win.
We thank everyone for tuning in. We had 650 plus on our first show with Believe Podcast Network. Hopefully they don't kick us off after tonight. No, they shouldn't. We thank everyone for tuning in. Appreciate all of you guys. Seriously, the chat, you guys were great tonight. Had me crying at points with some of the comments because they were so funny. So thank you guys as always. Again, we'll be doing that jersey giveaway here, I believe. Would you say next week, Ricky? Is that right?
Let's do the jersey giveaway next week, and then we'll open up for the Rams ticket from Joko the following week.
So we'll do that. Hopefully, Bryson said we'll both be at the game this weekend. We'll be at the Roaring Riot tailgate. So if you're going there, stop by, say hi to us.
I might try to get to the tailgate. I've got a lot of with the beat writing. I've got a lot of before and after that I have to do. I'm supposed to have a family dinner at 5:00 at Everondolo. Don't know if that'll work, but the pregame, maybe I get up there. There's something cool happening at that tailgate. By the way, I can't say anything about it, but there's something cool happening at that Roaring Riot tailgate this week. So if you're on the fence about going to the Riot tailgate, go to the Roaring Riot tailgate.
But maybe I shouldn't say it.
Just trust me. Just go. It's cool.
We appreciate everyone for tuning in. Again, stop by and say hi. If you are going to the game, we'll be there. 535, section 535, row 18, seats 6 through 8, I believe. So we'll be there. Panther
Dog. We'll post the address for the Riot tailgate on our Twitter page. If you follow us on there, we'll post that on there for you.
But until then, you guys keep pounding. We'll see y'all next week.